So what happened so far today? I had coffee at my grandpa's this morning, and we came here. The 1974 Chevy C65 is not wanting to stay running right. Me and my dad tried it like 5 times, killed the battery, killed the booster pack, and I started it, kept it floored. All it wanted to do was shoot fire right out the carburetor, and it would die after that. So that thing probably needs plugs. It's just having a rough day, so it's having a day like us humans get sometimes, but it ain't having it today, so it's probably gonna need plugs. Put a charge on the battery. Might need a new. We're gonna need a new one soon, but we're gonna charge it for now. But anyways, this is what I'm doing right now. Got my mom's car on the lift because it's oil change day for it. The oil change thing's been on for a little while, but yep, I'm doing a little inspecting under here too. I'll show you guys what I found. And I know this car has a little exhaust leak because it is a little bit loud, and I'm pretty sure that's one of them. That one's probably the main one, I think. But yeah, there's definitely holes starting, but that's common on these cars. But I'm just gonna inspect everything. This thing still looks very clean under here. Could use POR. I'll probably POR it sometime. It's too cold to do it though. But everything else looks pretty clean under here, rust wise. It ain't bad for an 06. Damn. But anyway, let's get the oil change. There's a little leak, looks like, around the plug, but it ain't actually leaking. And this thing doesn't really use that much oil, so. But ever since I added oil last time, I haven't had to add any since. But yeah, there's the oil filter. 183,000 was my changing. It was changed on June 7th. So let's go ahead and get the oil drain pan. And I'll move these out of the way. And keep the blue rag. Now there's a yellow one there. That'll be all right. This thing's got plenty of room. I know this thing still has a wheel bearing going out, but so far it hasn't gotten worse at all, so I think it can wait for a while. Okay. And of course the tires are okay. But yeah, let's get this thing draining oil. Okay. Sorry for the bad angle there. I had to get this thing up and situated. But oil filter is so easy to change in this car. That's what I like about it. But I think that was a 14 millimeter, I think. 14 or 15, I don't remember. Let me use my own tools. So I'm gonna get a 14. That's what I think it is. Oh wait. Metric's up here. 14. And then I keep the ratchet in the standard section. That's just how I done it, and that's how I'm gonna keep it. So 14 millimeters red. Yeah, let's get this oil drained out. And no, it's 13. So I was wrong both times. Wrong one again. 13 should do it. Alright, let me put this down a little bit. That way I got some more. Yeah, that'll do it. Let me set this thing up so I can use 2 hands and I'll round out the plug rig. And I'll show you guys how it looks. It definitely needs change, but it don't look bad. Okay. Now that we got it loose, a little trick so you don't get oil over yourself. Push in while you're unscrewing the cap or the plug. Just keep pushed in, and then when you get it all the way unscrewed, just don't make a mess like me. I thought I had it up for it. But it's alright. I didn't make too big of a mess. But, well, looks what a typical oil change looks like. Brown like they always are. It still looks pretty good because it's got full synthetic in it. Kirkland 520, but we're going to change it up a little bit. This car is high mileage, so it's okay. But I don't have it yet, but there's what we used. That's what we're using. And the reason is, me and my dad and grandpa went to Costco to get oil. And they didn't have the 520 in the stores anymore. But you still could have got it online. But I didn't want to wait that long because it could have taken like 7 to 14 business days or 7 business days. So, is what they did have was a whole shit ton of 5W30. Now, these are for 3 different vehicles. One of them's not going to get changed because it hasn't hit the mileage yet. And that one has been here for a while, but that's for my dad's Bronco. And, yeah. So, but yeah, I've got 3 cases of 530, which, if your vehicle's got high mileage, it ain't going to hurt nothing. So, it'll be alright. So, just so you guys know, if you're worried about that. Sometimes it's better for high mileage cars to get a little bit more. I know it's winter time, but it's not going to hurt nothing. I mean, my dad's done it before. And there's quite a few people that's done it before, so it ain't gonna hurt your engine, especially when it's got high miles. Yeah, you can see it's still pretty clean actually, just because it's got synthetic in it. This synthetic oil is good shit. And I think I told you guys, but there was a test done with this versus Mobil 1, and that oil came out better. That one passed the test more than Mobil 1, so basically that is pretty damn good oil. Better than Mobil 1. I don't know, some of you have your opinions about that, but that's okay because everybody's allowed to have their own opinions. But sometimes it's good to keep that opinion to yourself, which, whatever. I know there's people out there that are going to comment, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, you can see how clean it looks. And it went from 183,000 to 187. 5,000 miles. It still looks really clean. So we usually go 7,000, but this thing has the oil change thing with 5, so I'm just going to change it every 5. It'll keep the engine going a lot better. And of course, I'd like to check the transmission fluid on this and see how clean it still looks. I did some cleaning of the cobwebs of this. I floored it. It was kind of impressive for a car like that. But she shifted fine. Runs great. It didn't have any issues starting on me or driving, so it was just that one day when my mom went somewhere, had a hiccup. But yeah. So this is why we're using the Costco oil from now on, because it's just clean. And then of course I got a Motorcraft filter because nothing's better than OEM stuff. And that is over here. Got the oil from Costco, but Rural King sells, wrong one. Rural King sells Motorcraft filters. I paid only $7. These are $7 a piece. If you got it from O'Reilly's or something, it would have been a lot more than that. So if you guys want Motorcraft filters, get them from Rural King. You'd be surprised what they have over there. So it's OEM. So, and this is a filter from my dad's truck we also got from Rural King a while ago, but we don't have the oil for it yet. But those two aren't going to get driven because there's salt on the roads, and my dad don't want salt dust on them, which fine with me. I'll at least get the ones changed that need it. But anyways, I'll pause it. Then I'll get back when it's dripping now. Alright guys, it's dripping, so let's clean the oil plug off. Where the heck did I... There it is. Alright. It looks pretty good still. Let's just wipe it off. Bring this rag. so let's get it on. I told you guys I was going to do better at doing car videos, and this is going to be the start of it. Then I'll just wipe the surface off. My dad came back because I guess someone ran out of gas at Beacon Credit Union, so he's bringing some gas. So let's get this. And remember, don't tighten those plugs with all your might, because if you do, you're gonna crack the housing right here. Which, if you guys don't remember the video from 3 years ago, we were changing the transfer case on the Navigator and I tightened it too tight and it cracked the housing, and JB Weld fixed it and hasn't leaked ever since. But just be very careful, because you can turn one of those mistakes into an expensive repair. So just be very careful. You just gotta, that's about it right there, just so it's snug. There it is. Now the oil filter. This oil filter is going to be super easy. I like it on this car. This thing's easy to change the oil on. So I should be able to loosen it by hand because I tighten it by hand, but sometimes I'll tighten it too much by hand. But I should loosen by hand though, because it's in a pretty good position. It's tight, but it's coming. There it is. It's coming off. We'll back it aside a little bit. You can probably see how good that oil still looks. There it is. 183,067 of 24. I always like writing the date and mileage on the filter. It just really helps out. I need to get me a GoPro or get my Hero Session 3 out, but the thing is, the battery doesn't last a long time. If I didn't lose my Hero Session 4, that thing had a damn good battery in it, but I lost it like permanently somehow. So let's get the surface cleaned off and make sure the gasket don't stick to the oil filter housing, because you'll have some big problems. If you don't check and it's stuck, you'll be leaking oil everywhere. So I never made that mistake, thank God, but you know, everybody's probably gonna do it once in their life, and I'm not saying I'm not going to. Jesus, it's so loud over there. But yeah, and just clean the surface good. You don't need brake clean. Just take a fairly clean rag and wipe around the surface. That way the new oil filter will stick good. So I'm gonna go get one of the brand new oils cases. I think that car takes 6 quarts. I gotta look it up, but I think it's 6, but maybe it's 4.5. I gotta look it up just to be safe. But let's get it open. And you can get oil from Costco for $37 for 10 quarts. That's a really good deal. That's another reason we get it there, because it's very reasonable. But there it is. Nothing better than unboxing brand new oil. So, all right. Just get it open. Don't worry, because all the vehicles I still got to change the oil on, I will still video. Okay, get your new oil open. Take your oil filter out of the box. And put your finger into the oil and put oil around that gasket. And if you don't put oil around that gasket, well, it ain't gonna be easy coming off next time you change the oil. So I've seen a video of that happening before. It's just not very good results. It could include a screwdriver and a hammer to get it off. I seen that on a Cub Cadet UTV. Yeah, that guy didn't have fun when he changed his oil. So just make sure you lube the gasket. Don't put a bunch on there, but just make sure it's all around the surface, and it is. But Now, I'll get the orange Sharpie out of here. And I'm going to write the current mileage on the filter, which is 187,000, and the date, and today's the 6th, Friday, December 6th. So, get that wrote down. Alright. 187K for 1,000. 12/6/24. There you have it. That's a good way to remember. I mean, I like to write stuff down, even though I might have an oil change thing, but it's always good to write it down anyway, just to remember. So let's put the new one on. I'm not going to tighten it as much as I do. See, sometimes I tighten it a lot than I need to, because I'm afraid it's always going to leak. But I know it don't need to be cranked down, so let's go ahead. Get her on. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, that should do it. Yep. Doesn't need to be super tight, but I didn't go as tight as I usually do, so I know it ain't gonna leak. And if you had an oil filter that mounted not sideways but up and down, it's best to pre-fill it, but since this one's sideways, you could pre-fill it a little bit, but I never do. It usually makes a mess, so I don't worry about it. So it'll be fine. So now we can let the car down because we got the filter and oil plug tight. And let's get this out of here. Here's the old date. There we go. I like putting Motorcraft filters in these. So the Navigator doesn't, but I got a Motorcraft filter for it when it's ready. It's not at 217,000 yet, so it's not ready to get changed yet. But let's put the car down, and then I'm gonna look up. How many quarts of oil this takes? I think it's 6 or so, but it doesn't hurt to double check. Okay. I'm going to take the oil cap off in the video, and I'll get right back with you guys. And I am definitely going to use an oil funnel because that's not a good position. Just as I figured, 6 quarts. So actually, is what I'm going to do. Because we usually have Kirkland oil left over, I'm just going to see if there's a 530 in here. Kirkland oil. And I'm not seeing any, but if there was, is what I was going to do. Or just get the one that's already open. But yeah, I don't think there is. Let me see if there's anything back there. No, that's O'Reilly's oil. That's shit. Even though that's what I got in my 96 Mark 8, but I don't like it anymore. And I'm not seeing it, so I'll just have to get one of the brand new ones out, which I figured, because my dad used the last of it in his Mark 8. See, he mixed 530 and 520 in his Mark 8. So I'm not seeing one, so we'll have to use both the new ones. It's not a big deal, but it's always good to check. So let me go get a funnel. Sorry for all the movement. Alright. Pretty sure that's an oil funnel. Could be the transmission funnel. You know what? Let me use mine. I got one I use for oil. Forgot I had this big gray one right here. I like this one. And I also, a while ago when they were still carrying 520, I bought oil to change the town cars, but it ain't due yet. I was going to change it, but it still looks clean enough. I'll just go the full 7,000, so that one will be changed. It'll be a while because I ain't going to drive it in the salt, but let's get this cleaned out, make sure there's no dirt in there. Dirt and contaminants in the oil isn't very good, so clean this out, then we'll start adding the oil. Alright, it's pretty clean. I forgot that I used this for gas too because it had a little gas smell on it. Alright, there's the timing chain, but let's just put it right there. It should be alright. Yeah, it shouldn't go anywhere. Alright, let's start adding oil. And this oil smells really good. You know, when it doesn't smell sweet, you know it's the good oil. When it has that nice high mileage smell. You guys know what I'm talking about if you love changing oil and love the smell of different oils. But if I didn't see what I'm going to do, what you did. Alright, is what I usually like to do. I don't throw these away right away. I usually take another container that already has oil in it, and I'll just pour the remainder in there. I do that all the time, and you can get quite a bit of oil out of there doing that. So I've done that plenty of times. There's been times I haven't done it, but most of the time I do. So that's why those 520 and 530 containers are still sitting on the ground, because I need to pour the oil in a container. All right, let's get the. I'm gonna go get the other one, and I only need one more quart, so down to the 4 is where I need to be. Okay. Let's only pour down to the 4. We can start it up. But first, before I start it up, I'm going to reset the oil life. I don't like to pour very much, just to be safe. And I still got a while to go, so. Let's check that. We're a little above, so a little bit more. That should be good. And we're right at the 4, and that's exactly where it needs to be. That's 6 quarts, because this is a 5-quart jug. So now we're down at the 4. So I like to let the funnel drain the remainder of oil in there so it don't make a mess. But put the oil cap back on. And I usually like to shake the funnel. Get all that crap out of there. Get all that little pennies worth of oil out of there. So, and I'll just lay it on the floor on one of the oil rags or whatever the hell they are. But all right, now let's go reset the oil life. I'll show you guys how to do that. And I don't usually do, but I'm going to lift it up, check for leaks, because I like to. I never usually do, but I'm going to this time in the video, so you guys can get some pretty good tips. I'm not the best explainer, but I don't think I'm too bad. So close the door because it doesn't let you reset it when the door's open. So, and okay, see, 0%. Okay, now go to setup, which is right here. And then when you hit the oil life, oh, what the heck? Oh yeah, I gotta hit reset. Okay, get to that and hit reset. And then quickly hold the reset button when it hits the oil life. See, I had issues with it before. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. So when it says hold reset, lot off real quick and hold it, and then it'll reset. But she's reset. Alright, let's go to info. There you go. Now, let's start it up. It'll make noise at first, but that's just because the oil has to get through. Some cars make noise, some cars don't. There it is. And the low oil pressure light, of course, will stay on for a bit until the oil gets through. But here, it's off now, so let's raise it up. Check for leaks. It's always best to, especially if you're a mechanic that's brand new or whatever, and are new at this. Because if you see any leaks right away, you will definitely save a lot of money. And that means you gotta either tighten stuff up, or yeah. And I gotta clean my mess up. And I'm not seeing big leaks, and that's from where I spilled, so I don't see anything. Alright, let's get your light and check for wetness. That looks good. That was already there. Oil plug looks good. So yeah, and we're good here. So you can let the car back down, and I'm probably going to back her on out and go get my grandpa's Escape. So that's the next one we're doing. But there it is. So let's let her down. And you gotta let the vehicle run for a minute to get all the oil through there. Then what I'm gonna do, before I pull it off, shut it off, let it sit for a minute, check the oil. Make sure it's where it needs to be. Check the oil level. Make sure it's filled to where it needs to be. Get some of the remainder leaves or whatever is in here out. I need to wash this car, but I ain't doing it today. So. Sometimes you got to recheck it more than twice. Alright. And as you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but it's pretty much a little over halfway up in the hatches. If you're in the hatches, you're good. It doesn't have to be all the way to the top as long as it's in the hatch marks. And this is over half, so we don't need to add anymore. So we can close the hood, back her on out. Potential spam. Hold on. Well, I just answered that spam call. Nobody was there from North Carolina. I usually don't answer them, but my dad says if you answer them, they won't call you back. So yeah, you just got to play with them. I said, hello, is anybody there? And then I told them to F off. So you got to play with them a little bit. So that's the second spam call I've answered. So I'm just going to probably start doing it. My dad's getting me in it, so that's why I'm doing it. But okay, I'm not talking about that. So let's go ahead and pull the 500 out. And I think it's time to go to my grandpa's and go pick his Escape up. So let me open the door. So let me go lock this door real quick, because this is a door I always have a bad habit to leaving unlocked and forgetting to lock. I didn't go out this, but still. Alright, it's locked now. I'm going to leave all the lights on because I'm coming right back. And I hope my grandpa is still home. So let's open the door. Not gonna lock this because I don't have my keys on me. Alright, let's get her pulled out. And I'm actually gonna drive it to my grandpa's house. So, and when I brought it here last time, I did air all the tires up, so I'm not even gonna bother with those this time. So, and I always turn the lights off when I have stuff in here, especially if they're auto, especially if you gotta have the key on. But let's pull it out. Now we can turn the lights back on, and they're still working beautiful in the squeaky window. So, all right, and it's still full from when I filled it up last time I drove it here. So oil change, 187,468 miles. So, and the backup sensors, they beep at anything that it thinks you're close to. That's not a bad thing for, you know, people that don't know how to pay attention. So I ain't gonna, yeah, everybody's been that way in their life or some time or another. But all right, guys, let's close this door and then the video, and then we'll go to my grandpa's and go pick his car up. I do a little cold start video on it. The LG is going to be my cold starting phone for today. So, and this phone's going to be my oil change phone, which is my everyday use phone. Well, we got an oil change car, we got a happy car, and I'm going to have a happy mom. So, yep, let's go pick up the next vehicle.